What if the reason life feels so exhausting isn't the workload, isn't the schedule, isn't even the people? What if it's that you've been the one trying to figure everything out all day, every day, and there's actually another way to move through your hours that doesn't require that much effort from you? Here's what this is really about. Most of us are running on a background program that says, I have to know, I have to plan, I have to predict what's coming and manage every outcome. And the cost of that program is a quiet, constant burnout, not the dramatic kind, just a low hum of tension that never really turns off. What we're going to look at today is a surprisingly simple move. Instead of pushing your way through every decision with sheer mental force, you can step back and let a deeper intelligence inside you take the lead. This isn't giving up. It isn't going limp. It's noticing that the part of you gripping the wheel so hard is actually the least qualified navigator in the room. Stay with me, because this is going to get practical fast. It's 9 a.m. You're at your desk, or in your car, or holding a coffee that's already gone lukewarm. And you're already 3 steps ahead of yourself. You're mentally composing an email while half listening to a colleague. You're running a rehearsed argument for a meeting that hasn't started yet. You're calculating what the rest of the day needs to look like so nothing falls apart. Nothing has actually gone wrong. But you're braced for it. Notice that word, braced. That's the shape of the habit. It's a body that's tightened before there's a reason to tighten. It's a mind that's answering questions no one has asked yet. And here's the strange part. Most of the time, we don't even notice we're doing it. It feels like being responsible. It feels like being on top of things. If you stopped 100 people on the street and asked them what it feels like to be an adult, half of them would describe this exact state and call it just how life is. But it isn't just how life is. It's a habit. And once you can see the shape of it, you can start to see something else too, how automatic the overriding has become. How reflexively you second guess. How constantly you're gripping. Let me offer you a picture that might make this click. Imagine you've been driving cross-country with a GPS, and the whole time, you keep overriding it. You know a shortcut, you have a hunch. You don't trust the route it's suggesting because, well, because you'd rather trust yourself. So you take the exit it didn't recommend. You reroute, you second guess. And by the time you arrive, if you arrive, you're exhausted, maybe lost, definitely frustrated. Now here's the question this lesson quietly asks. What if you just let it navigate? Not because the GPS is magic. Not because you're supposed to be passive, but because fighting it every mile is costing you the entire trip. The road doesn't change. Your grip on the wheel does. And this leads to an uncomfortable question. One most of us never actually ask ourselves. If that controlling voice in your head, the one narrating, planning, second guessing, gripping, if that voice isn't actually helping, then who or what is doing the driving? Because something is. Something has been getting you through your days, catching things you didn't consciously catch, knowing things before you knew them. There's a quieter intelligence in there. It's been there the whole time. You've just been talking over it. Let's go back to that 9 a.m. desk. A decision lands in front of you that you didn't expect. An email, a question, a curveball. and the familiar tightening starts. I need to figure this out right now. The mental machinery revs. The shoulders climb. The story begins. What if I get this wrong? What will they think? What are all the possible outcomes? But for just a moment, maybe by accident, maybe because you're too tired to launch into the usual scramble, you pause. Not to meditate. Not to do anything spiritual. Just to notice that the part of you racing to solve this hasn't actually been asked a question yet. It's just going. Because that's what it does. And in that pause, something quieter is already present. Something that isn't panicking, something that's just here. Available, and when you stop talking over it, it turns out it knows exactly where to go. This is the moment. This is the shift. It's not dramatic, there's no lightning. It's just the discovery that underneath all you're figuring out, there's already an intelligence at work, and it's been waiting for you to stop overriding it long enough to actually hear it. Here's what I want you to understand. Nothing about your outer life has to change for this to work. You still show up. You still make decisions. You still engage with your colleagues, your family, your responsibilities. From the outside, you look exactly the same. The road is the same road. The meetings are the same meetings. The inbox still fills, but the starting point is different. Instead of moving from that braced, gripping place, instead of trying to force the shape of the day into something you can control, you're moving from something quieter. You ask, internally, silently, what wants to happen here? And you actually wait, not long. Just long enough to hear something other than your own scrambling. The person across the table doesn't know anything is different, but you know. Because the friction is gone. The mental static that used to fill every interaction is turned down. You're actually there, in the room, with the person, with the moment. And decisions that used to take 40 minutes of internal debate resolve themselves in seconds, because you finally let the navigator navigate. Here's the thing that surprises people most. We think stepping back is going to feel like weakness, like passivity, like we're letting things slip. That's why we resist it so hard, because the ego, the gripping part of us, has convinced us that if we're not straining, we're failing. But when you actually try this, even for one decision, even for one afternoon, what you discover is the opposite. Stepping back isn't weakness. It's the most efficient thing you can do, because you were burning enormous amounts of energy on a job that a quieter, wiser part of you was already doing better without your interference. The constant low-grade tension of needing to be right, needing to have the answer, needing to manage every outcome, it loosens its grip. Not because you fixed it. Not because you finally figured out the perfect strategy, but because you stopped adding your weight to it, and you start moving through your day with a lightness that doesn't feel earned, because it isn't. It was always there. It was just covered over by the noise of trying to be in charge. So here's what I'd invite you to try. The next time you feel that tightening, the next time you notice you're bracing for something that hasn't happened, or scrambling to solve something that hasn't been asked, pause. Just for a breath, and instead of leaning in with more force, lean back. Let the GPS speak. Let the quieter thing already inside you take one step forward before you do. You don't have to trust it forever. just once. Just this next moment, and see what happens when you stop overriding a wisdom that's been there all along. If you'd like more teachings and guided practices like this, you can like the video and subscribe. And now, we'll move into a short guided meditation. Let's take a few minutes to let this settle. Find a way of sitting that feels easy. Nothing formal, just let your body arrive. Soften your shoulders. Unclench your jaw, let your hands rest. And notice, without changing anything, that you're already breathing. You didn't have to organize it. It's just happening. Notice the small, constant work your body is doing right now. The heartbeat you didn't schedule. The breath you didn't plan. Something inside you already knows how to be alive. Let that sink in for a moment. Now bring to mind, gently, whatever you were gripping today. The decision, the worry, the thing you were trying to figure out. Don't push it away. Just see it, and imagine, just for now, setting it down. Not solving it, not resolving it. Just setting it down beside you, like a bag you've been carrying too long. Feel your hands. They don't have to hold anything right now. Feel your mind. It doesn't have to answer anything right now. There's a quieter part of you that's here. It's been here the whole time. You don't need to find it. You don't need to reach for it. You only need to stop talking over it. Breathe in, breathe out, and rest here. In this small space where nothing needs to be figured out, the road is still there. The day is still there. Your responsibilities haven't gone anywhere. But for these breaths, you're not driving, you're being carried. And whatever needs to be known in this moment is already known. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stay here as long as you like. And when you're ready, let your eyes open gently. Come back into the room. Bring this quiet with you. You can return to it anytime today. It's not somewhere else. It's right here, underneath everything you thought you had to hold. Thank you for spending this time in practice. A free digital ACIM resource is linked in the description if you'd like it. And if you wish, you're welcome to comment. I am grateful. Thank you for being here. Really, taking this kind of time in the middle of a demanding life is not a small thing. If you take one thing with you from today, let it be this: you don't have to figure everything out. Something in you already knows the way. Be gentle with yourself today. I'll see you soon.